What is up, everybody? This is Jeff from Dreamloud Media, and as you can see and or hear, I have uploaded my first episode of the Dreamloud podcast. This is something that's been in the works for a couple years that I've really been wanting to do and finally been able to put things together. And during this time of coronavirus pandemic, I've been able to put this dream into reality. So this first episode is with Colton Jackson. He is a worship leader in the Cincinnati area. He was awesome enough to set some time aside with me. And yeah, I'm just really excited that I'm finally able to put this into motion. But before this podcast gets started, I am excited to announce that I do have my first sponsor. My first sponsor is Covenant Eyes. And I'm going to do my ad read from my phone here. Covenant Eyes is about restoring human connection to help you live a life of freedom. Covenant Eyes is designed to help you and your loved ones live free from pornography. They give exceptional tech support and one report for all devices. I have Covenant Eyes on my phone and all of my computers and devices, and it's helped me get free from my addiction, and it's helping tens of thousands of people get recovery. I wouldn't have a sponsor for a company that I don't believe in, and I believe fully in Covenant Eyes and their mission. So check out the link in the description to Covenant Eyes. Whenever you use my promo code DREAMLOUD, you actually will get 30 days free of their service. Like I said, Covenant Eyes is just a company that I really believe in, and I'm more than honored to have them as a sponsor for this podcast. So without further ado, here is episode 1 of the DreamLoud podcast. This is the first episode of the DreamLoud podcast, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I reached out to a couple of my friends to see who would want to jump on and kind of talk about their life, and I hit up like 5 or 6 people, and you were the first one to hit me up. And
sweet.
So this is Colton Jackson. He's a worship leader here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And how long have you been doing worship music?
So I started playing at my home church, which is Vineyard Cincinnati, when I was in 6th grade. So I started playing drums on the worship team there in the student ministry. And just kind of from there, I'm 24 now, and I do it full time. And that whole time, I never stopped.
It's still weird for me to think that you're younger than me, because I'm 26.
Well, I remember like a month or so ago, you're like, yeah, Colton, you're like 29, right? And I'm like, nope. You're like, you're not?
Well, the reason is because you're like, in life, you're just 20 times more mature than I am. Like, you have a wife and a kid. So in my brain, I think everybody with a wife and kid is older than me instinctively.
No.
But
you're like, wait, you're not 29? I'm like, no, man, I'm 24.
Dang. So you started playing drums. When did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar. So I started playing guitar. Okay. I started playing drums when I was like in 2nd grade. And
okay. Was that serious playing drums, or was it just?
That was my friend's brother had a drum set at his house, and I sat down and could like play that like stereotypical like beat that everyone can play. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a professional drummer. Like, so every time I would go over to his house, I went to his house every day after school, and I played on his brother's drum kit. And then finally my parents were like, oh, like, you can hold a beat, like, so we'll get you your own. And then when I got my own drum kit, that's kind of when it all started for me there. I didn't pick up playing guitar, though, until I was in, like, 4th or 5th grade. And I was horrible. I could play, like, the D chord, and that was it. But I didn't really take it seriously until I started leading worship, was, like, my freshman year of high school.
Nice. That's when I started, too.
Yeah, I could play, like, your 4, like, basic worship leading chords, and then just move the capo.
Yeah, G, C, E minor, D.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice. Yeah, my dad had this, like, how I started playing drums when I was probably the same age. My dad had this, like, pad, and it had, like, circles on it.
Oh, yeah.
For, like,
had, like, the two
like, there was a hi-hat circle, and then a snare circle, and then a tom, and then, like, a cymbal.
And this crazy bank of sounds that you can go through.
Yes,
right?
And then it had an actual kick pedal, too, on it. And then, I had just kind of fooled around over the years. When I was, like, I don't know, a freshman or sophomore, I had, like, an electric drum kit, but I never took it seriously. Mm-hmm. And then there's a guy that I interned with in Georgia. He had been a worship leader in Middletown at a church called Quest Church, and I had same kind of thing, like and their drummer had like just quit. I think he got deployed or something, and so they needed a drummer, and we had played together at another church before, and he's like, hey man, I know you're not really a drummer, but if you could come play drums at our church, just like fill in 1 week. Like, you're the first person I thought of. If you could just like help me out. And then I played drums every week for like 2 years.
Yeah, and then just the more you played, like it just accelerated like crazy.
Yeah, and I started playing guitar when I was 14. I was about to be a freshman, and I was involved in a church in Fairfield called Fairfield Church of God, and a couple people there had like kind of taken me under their wing and taught me how to play guitar. And like there's a couple people, one guy in particular, his name is John Sears, and he, like, if it wasn't for him, I would not be where I am in my guitar playing. He helped me so much, and he just really took me under his wing. So
yeah, there are for sure those people in my life that are like me, and I would, who knows where the heck I'd be if they didn't like throw me into situations.
Yeah, that's the thing is like with John Henderson, he's like, hey man, can you come play drums for us? And I'm like, I don't know how to, but like I'll come try, you know. And
yes,
you know, like people like John Henderson, John Sears, like those kind of guys really shape me. And it's kind of weird because I think you and I are kind of in the same boat where we were also listening to like heavy metal like it's like I feel like a lot of us church musicians grew up listening to
like Attack, like,
Devil Wears Prada, Under Oath.
I remember when I was playing drums at the church I was at. It was Vineyard, Cincinnati, and I don't know, I may have been like maybe 8th grade or something, and I got like a double kick pedal because I was like and I was like, I'm bringing it I'm bringing it for this worship set. So I brought it, and it was just like over like your grace is enough or something, and I was like man, I should get a China cymbal. And then I was like, you gonna do a breakdown in the middle of Mighty to Save? Okay.
I know a lot of people our age, like in our age range, that really, I don't know, it was like that was like our musical outlet.
Warped Tour was like the.
Dude, I only went to Warped Tour once.
Yeah.
And it was the last year.
Oh, like, my goodness.
2 years ago or whatever, whenever it was the last year. But I'm glad that I got to go for that. I really only wanted to go to see State Champs, which they killed it. Issues, which I know people love to hate them.
No, I love Issues so much.
Beartooth and Silverstein.
Yeah.
Silverstein.
They did Silvertooth where they were together and did the show. Nice.
Yes. So Silverstein was like the first like heavy band that I ever listened to. I was, I don't know, probably like 5th or 6th grade, and my friend, his dad was a pastor at a church, and like Sunday nights during Bible study, we would go to his dad's office and like listen to like Under Oath and Silverstein and like all of those people that were on like, you know, Radio U and all those things where like Run Kid Run and like all of those like emo bands.
Wow. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Take me back memory lane.
I know.
Holy moly.
And it's crazy how not only has like that kind of music influenced worship music, but worship music has influenced other bands. Like you look at bands like the band Camino. They're like all a bunch of, you know, worship leaders. And then like I Prevail, their drummer, he played in worship bands at like some mega church wherever he grew up.
Well, I know like the Wage War guys, they're like, one of them was a worship leader down in Florida. Like they're all from Florida, but they're all like central to one church. And I think about when you talk like worship, modern Christian worship music is heavy, big, reverbed out guitars and swells and everything. And you look at bands like Silent Planet, like
dude,
they're like all half their stuff is super clean. Like they're like guitar,
I know.
Like, and that's
it's crazy.
like, I'm like, oh, I think I heard that in the last Bethel record.
I know, right?
You know?
Well,
so,
they like a lot of those bands will use pedals like Big Sky and
absolutely. Their pedal boards are no longer just like drive. They're like drive and then as wet and delayed as you can get. And I mean, you hear that in worship music from like.
And for anybody that's listening and doesn't know anything about me, I'm a photographer, and that's like my business, you know. And two bands that like heavily influenced me, not just as a Christian, but like as just like a musician in general, were Silent Planet and The Word Alive. Yeah. And I got to photograph both of them at Top Cats, where you and Tyler played. So like last year,
Silent Planet at Top Cats,
dude,
was probably
was nuts.
Woo!
It was nuts, and it's just like it's crazy how that full circle. Like another band that I always listened to growing up was Secrets, and I got to shoot them. And you know, the band that I used to play in a band called A Liar's Eyes. Check them out. Big shout out. those bands all came in town on tour, and like I've shot Secrets twice.
That's awesome.
I've shot The Word Alive, and just like a bunch of other really cool bands, and not just like big bands like that, but other cool bands that I've got to check out along the way.
So I'm always curious, and I like having this conversation. Is when you meet your heroes, do they let you down, or was it
Dude,
good?
No. Like
right.
Telly Smith was super cool. Like, cause I'm the kind of photographer where I don't just like jump on stage with touring bands like that. I think that's kind of disrespectful. Mm-hmm. So I'll either have a conversation with one of the members in the band or their manager or like even their merch guy and be like, hey, just so you know, I'm photographing this local band. They've given me permission to be on stage when they're playing.
Yeah.
Are you cool if and like all the Secrets guys, we hung out with them for like 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
At what's that? Rockstar Pro in Dayton. We hung out with them for like 30 minutes before their show in the back room, and like all of the band, not just like the guitar and the drummer, but like their lead vocalist too. But I didn't get to meet Telly. I just was like on stage with The Word Alive. But I got a couple really cool shots, and then same thing for Silent Planet. Like I talked to one of their managers beforehand. I was like, hey, if I'm not like disrespectful and don't get anybody's way, are you guys cool if I jump on stage and grab some shots? They're like, dude, as long as you send them to us.
Yeah.
But even other, like, do you know anything about Christian rap at all? Do you know who 1K Few is?
No.
He's a part of like Lecrae and all of them, that 116 clique.
Big group.
I got to hang out with him. He did a show at my church, Rivers Crossing, and I got to hang out with him and his manager, and like they did this like really cool meet and greet and everything. But yeah, I mean, I've not met one band or a group that's like, you know, anybody's been rude or negative or anything like that. So,
that's incredible. I love when like you meet the people you look up to and they're not just total like, jerks.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been cool once again to see how like those bands have influenced me as a musician, and you know, I don't know, it's just cool kind of where I'm at now.
Yes.
So
nice.
So you're at Centerpointe. How long have you been at Centerpointe?
It'll be 2 years and at the beginning of August. I think beginning or end of August. 2 years. Let's say 2 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like what? And you're the student ministry worship coordinator.
Yep. So I'm student ministry. I do worship for all of our student stuff. I pop in with our adult stuff every once in a while. That's what I do.
What's your end goal? Would you like to move up to like a? Are you happy where you're at right now, or do you have goals to kind of move to?
I love doing student stuff, but like you said earlier, like I have a wife and a kid, so staying up all night at the web is getting kind of old.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like I would love to be like a worship pastor for a church someday, but I would also love to travel and do worship music. So like if I would love to be a contract worship leader that like in the summertime I'd love to go out and do camps all summer long and travel and stuff.
Yeah. We've done two or three camps. I think just two.
Well, at Centerpointe we've done two together.
We've done two together.
And then like we did a Loveland thing. Yeah, but we've done two. And can I shamelessly plug what we did
I was about to bring it up. Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, so Jeff and I have known each other for I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So he plays for me at our church, and we did a camp not this summer, the summer before. This past summer.
Well, I don't even know. This summer hasn't happened yet.
Will it happen? Yeah.
# Corona.
So last summer we did a camp called Summer Blast for our middle school students, and we recorded a live worship album, and it is out on Spotify called CPSM Worship Collective.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, like it's the most like hardcore metal band picture.
Yeah, it's
ever,
pretty dope.
Which I took. Yeah,
I took. So that whole thing was super fun, and I was gonna absolutely have you plug it. So essentially what we did was we took some of the worship songs from the camp. We live recorded everything and then sent a few of them off to a producer, and he like mixed and mastered it, and it sounds like
insane.
The first time don't take this the wrong way, but the first time I heard it, I was like, I wonder how this is gonna sound. But
because it was like everything that we took, the 5 songs that we took were off on Friday night opening.
Oh, okay, really?
So, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we took them off on Friday night, and it was like no re-recording, no going in and redoing vocals or guitars. I mean, it was like, okay, like here's all the raw files, and you can do whatever. So I mean, I had that same hesitation. I was like, oh man, I know, like my voice cracked like 12 times in this. This is gonna be great.
I always make this joke that I'm like not a bass player.
Yeah, you play bass,
I fill in, but like I play bass on this thing, and the first time I heard it, you sent it to me, and my brother who plays guitar, he was sitting next to me, and I like played it for him. He's like, dude, what is this? And I was like, this is that record that I played on. So it was that was all really fun. And like I said, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but if it's on Spotify,
just Spotify, well, it's on Spotify. It's like on Bandcamp.com, and then whatever the website is. And I have a ridiculous.
It's CPSM Worship Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's 5 songs on there?
5 songs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. That was like, dreaming that was an idea. We wanted to give our students something to take home that wasn't just a t-shirt, like from the weekends. Like, well, look, we have like a freaking incredible band, so what if we just, and we're recording everything anyways, let's like send it to a guy and say like, hey, what can you do? I started getting stuff back, and I was like, holy crap, like, this is incredible. This is so good. And what's great about, like, we had students play on the album too, so they have something that I have a...
Well, I think that makes, like, the other students listening, I feel like that engages them more to know, like...
my peer did this. And then, like, we have, like, all the live crowd mics, so, like, all the students that were there, I mean, you can hear them in multiple of the songs.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was super cool, and, like, the dream now is, like, every time we have that camp, it will be to put out Volume 2, Volume 3, and everything. Yeah. Unfortunately, it got canceled this summer.
Yeah. So that's a perfect segue into what I want to talk about next is, if you're listening to this any relative time to when we record it, you know that we're going through kind of a pandemic right now, and it's been a crazy 2020 so far, man.
It started out like, oh man, 2020 is gonna be great.
I know.
I'm like, summertime, baseball.
2020 vision.
That's right. I'm ready. Like every church in the world did that series, like January 1st, and then it was like, great. This has been wonderful, but like it's not been terrible.
So how has? Because I know, what's directly affected Rivers Crossing. How has this affected, your guys' church, and what are you doing to, provide content and everything to people?
So I mean, we're shut down. We've been.
This isn't a plug. This is just
we're shut down. We've been shut down. I think we're in week like 8 or 9 or something like that. It was like 3 weeks before Easter is when we closed. So we entered a world of strictly internet, like strictly online services. No one is meeting in person. We had Easter like completely online. So what we're doing is we're going in and we're re-recording everything. We're like pre-recording everything, and then it broadcasts live for like our adult stuff, and for student stuff we do YouTube live in the morning on Sunday mornings for middle school, and then at night for high school. So for me, right, I'm not able to. We're not able to do like full band worship or anything. So I'm recording in my house like. Acoustic songs and stuff, and re-recording or pre-recording all of those, and then sending them to our student pastor, and he just plugs them in live as he's going on. So I miss the community aspect. Like I'm dealing strictly with students mainly. Like students are my volunteer pool, and all these kids are like they don't go to school anymore, right? Yeah. So like they're all shut down, so they're all sitting at home. So I'm doing everything I can to still be connecting with them.
And it's cool to see a lot of churches right now that are still engaging like through the week, not just with student ministry, but like there's some churches that are doing like Crossroads is doing like live worship on Wednesdays, and like a lot of churches are going live. I don't know if you follow Transformation Church at all.
Oh yeah, dude, Michael Todd
is a legend.
Oh my word,
Michael Todd, if you want to come on the podcast,
if you want to come hang out,
if you ever want to come hang with us, no, but like it's cool that this is pretty obviously a pandemic. It's something that we're all struggling with and dealing with, but seeing that we're still being able to reach the community, and like I'm sure that it was this way for you guys, but like at Rivers Crossing, we did our live Easter, live video or whatever, and we still had hundreds of people give their life to God over the internet, essentially.
Well,
so
what's really cool about, and I'll talk student world because that's just the world that I'm in right now. It's that it's super what's the word? It's super scary for a new student to walk into an environment. I mean, you know, our world is like crippled with anxiety and everything right now. So it's like, man, you want to come to youth group? Like that kid's probably like, I don't want to, but it's really, really easy for them to click a link and still be engaged in what we're doing. For sure. And we're seeing like our numbers haven't dropped at all. Like, they've grown. Like our if you look at like the body, like the physical bodies that we had in the service, we're seeing that exact same number of viewers plus more on our streams, and we're seeing like not only like Cincinnati located people, but like there are people that are tuning into our stuff that's farther reaches than what we're able to reach regularly. So like it's not all terrible. Like we're definitely getting new faces, new people seeing what we're doing,
and it's like something that I've kind of been, I don't want to say coping with, but something that I've been trying to understand and recognize is that even through all of this, like we have to understand that God is doing something. You know,
for sure.
You know,
there's
whatever the reason that this is, and I know that's hard for the people that have lost others to hear, is that like God's working through this. But we just have to, you know, trust that that's
and
his
like
plan.
For me, it's been super great to just slow down, like to take a breath, to not like our son is 5 months old, and he's like when he was like 1 to 2 months old, like he's wonderful and I love him so much, but he's like he doesn't do a whole lot. He just kind of lays there and looks at you. But like now he's laughing, he's interacting, he's like grabbing stuff. So like I would be working right now and he'd be at a babysitter type of thing. So like we're at home, and that's been really, really great.
That's cool.
Time with them.
And that's the thing that I think the big picture of all of this, what I don't know what God is doing, and I think it would be very bold of me to say that God is doing this because I'm not God. I don't know. But I think one of the things that God is trying to teach us through this is like to come closer together.
Absolutely.
You know, since all of this, like I got laid off, but I'm able to do things that I love now, because I mean it's, what day is it?
I don't even know.
Friday? It's Friday during the day. Like I would be at my desk at my office right now, but you know I did get laid off unfortunately. But this is something that I've wanted to do for like 2 years, and I'm able to actually, you know, put this into place now, and you know, spending more time with my family, you know, because I was working in Columbus, so I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with my family. And you know, the fact that like a lot of these doors have opened up, and I've seen and heard of a lot of relationships be rekindled because of this, and it's just, I don't know.
What I love about the whole thing is like now, like it's super easy to love somebody when you're face to face with them, or when you're like in like actual community with them, but like, how do you show that you love somebody over the phone? Like, how do you prove to somebody that you, I'm like, and that's something like my wife and I, we had a long distance relationship. It was like 2 hours, we were 2 hours apart, but a good friend of mine, he's like, okay, like, she lived here for a summer with them. They lived here. When she went back to school the next year, it's like, okay, like you got to love her in person for 4 months. Like, now, like, your relationship's going to get tested, because, like, now you have to prove it. Like, you have to show her love from being apart. And I think, like, that's where this pandemic has forced us into, is, like, man, how can I show, like, my neighbors that like I still care about them when I can't like say, hey, come over and let's have dinner together.
That's the thing too, is like it's brought families closer together in house, but it's also hard for, you know, us not being able to go to like a coffee shop or like things like that together. You know, we're stuck at home, so like navigating that. I mean, freaking Zoom right now is probably making it killer.
I know, like someone needed to invest in Zoom stock, like, and they're probably like making it.
I'm not a conspiracy theory person, but it's weird. I had never heard of Zoom until this whole pandemic hit.
Dang.
So.
Yeah, I did a few things with Zoom, but like, maybe Zoom's behind the whole thing. Who knows? Who knows, man? Birds aren't real either.
Yeah, I know. I saw a couple memes like the government is keeping us inside so they can change the batteries on all the birds. And like
they're building a new water park.
I shared that on Facebook. So yeah, man, this whole thing, man, it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to understand like what God is doing. But I wasn't built to understand. So.
Yeah, I'm just taking each day at a time and
and
out.
And like, I don't know, though I don't agree with like some of the decisions and some of the closures, like
right.
we just have to trust that. That's the hardest part. Is I know one family in particular that their whole family is small business, and like they run their own businesses, and like a lot of their business is being canceled right now, and you know they're trying to figure it out. Unemployment is backed up, and it's just it's been a tough time for everybody. But man, this is the time not only to trust God and trust that what He's going to do, and then be excited for when He does provide. But after all of this is lifted, whenever the heck it is, that we're gonna, you know, that we're gonna continue to trust Him.
Have that same, that same trust. Not be like, all right, thanks God, like,
it's
all over.
Yeah.
Rock my world again when I need it. You know.
And through all this, I mean, I got laid off a little over a month ago, I think. A month ago, maybe, to the day. But, like, everything I've asked God for, He's provided. Yeah. You know, like, I haven't struggled for, me personally, I haven't struggled for one bill through this. And, like, every time God, like, I know that God is providing for me. I see something, I thank Him for it. Yep. And, you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's crazy, man. This whole thing is it's hard to grasp. It's hard to, you know.
Yeah, it'll be in history books. Like this will be like we're seeing like.
Well, you look back at things like the Spanish flu, which was about 100 years ago, and back then they didn't have like the technology and all that we have now, and to see, I just. To wonder what it was like back then, where they didn't have Zoom and FaceTime and even like cars like they have now and highways and that kind of stuff and the jobs that they have now,
Crazy.
So
weird times.
Yeah, very weird times. But I think this is another good segue into what have you been binging through this series.
Okay.
Let's talk what we've been binging and then go into the other topic that we want to talk about.
Okay. I had never seen any of the Marvel movies until Endgame came out last year.
So Endgame was the first Marvel movie?
So Endgame was coming. Endgame was out. We were going. We were on vacation in Arizona seeing my brother and my sister-in-law, and it was his birthday. And what he wanted to do was see Endgame, and it was out in theaters. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never seen any of the Avengers movies, let alone any of the Marvel movies, and like everyone like hates me for that. But I was like, okay, so I better I'm just gonna. Sorry. So I was like, well, that week I'm gonna watch Avengers, then Age of Ultron, then Infinity War, and then Endgame, just so I have like a little bit of it. And I loved them. I was like, how have I never done this before? So I saw Endgame. It was great, but the thing that like was super interesting and confusing, I don't understand why they didn't release them in the timeline order. Because it's just I would be so confused watching them in the order that they were released. So we found a way to watch them in
a timeline.
A timeline of we started with Captain America, the first Avenger, and then they're all kind of sprinkled in there. Yeah. So we're in movie 8, we have 13 to go, but we've been doing that. Thank God Disney Plus is
dude. Disney Plus launched at a great time and everything.
Yeah, so we're doing that. I mean, there's a really old show from the 90s or 2000. I don't even know. One Tree Hill. Have you ever heard?
Oh my gosh, I've never watched it.
Okay, so Taylor loved it. We're watching it. I have to say, it's super good. But it's really bad early 2000s soap opera teen drama. Anyways, I'm sucked in, and then I did Tiger King pretty quick. I've done it twice.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the things that I've been watching, and then we can take a deep dive into Tiger King. But,
okay, perfect.
So I'm a Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I'm a Star Wars guy.
You have a Star Wars tattoo.
I do. I have the Jedi symbol on my leg.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I'm a cancer survivor, and that's not what I want to talk about. But through that time, Star Wars was my line at the end of the tunnel. That's what I got excited about, and it's so important to me today because it those movies and that imagination got me through some really hard times.
This is gonna suck when I tell you I've never seen one Star Wars.
All right, well, this is over.
It's been great.
Yeah.
I haven't.
My girlfriend had never seen Star Wars either, and right before The Rise of Skywalker came out, we watched all of them.
Okay.
She didn't like that very much,
Yeah.
but she knew it was important to me,
Yeah.
so she sat down and watched them with me because she likes me.
That's good.
And yeah, so I've been kind of slowly watching those again through all this time because I could watch. I don't care if you hate the old movies or the new movies or whatever. I like them all, and I don't care what you say about it. Cancel me or whatever. But yeah, I've been watching them all again. We started watching Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, me and Taylor
again.
we finished.
Yeah,
all of it.
I think we're like we just got into season 5.
Okay. Have you seen El Camino?
I saw El Camino.
All right, cool.
Didn't watch Better Call Saul.
Neither did I. So here's the thing, like, I love Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows. And my favorite character in all of Breaking Bad was Mike. Like, Mike is my absolute favorite character, and like he's in Better Call Saul like the whole time, and I'm like, oh, like yes, like I want more of Mike, like. But it was such a letdown. I hated Better Call Saul. So
really?
Like, I'm done.
I watched like 3 episodes, and it didn't capture
It didn't get there.
It didn't like demand my attention like Breaking Bad did.
Yeah, but we did Breaking Bad already. It was so good.
Yeah. So, and then, what else have we watched? We've been watching a lot of, like, stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Chris D'Elia fan, and Tom Segura, and all those guys.
Do you know who Nate Bargatze is?
I haven't watched Nate Bargatze yet, but I've heard.
It's so good. We saw him live in Dayton before all this stuff happened.
Really?
Yeah, you should for sure check out his.
I saw Chris D'Elia live.
Yeah, I bet that was awesome.
It was like he's my favorite stand-up comic.
Yeah.
It was life-changing.
Nice.
But so and then like I know a lot of people don't like him very much either, but Aziz Ansari, he's really funny too. I just watched his new one again, but I think the main binge thing that I'm starting for the 3rd time now is Tiger King.
So I've done it twice. I did it one time. I was like, what the heck is this? I'm gonna watch it. And I mean, I was.
Did you watch like the bonus episode that came out like 2 weeks ago?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was. I mean, it wasn't really a bonus episode. It was
like an interview.
It was a Zoom call.
It was a Zoom call. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. But I watched it, and Taylor's my wife. She's like, what on earth is this? I'm like, you gotta do it. She's like, no, like it's trash. There's nothing. And then she watched the first episode. She's like, we gotta keep going.
I started it and I watched it all the way through by myself.
Yep.
Then my girlfriend was like, you keep talking about this.
Yeah. Who's Carol Baskin?
Yeah. So like, cause I was like finishing the last episode. I was watching like the last 20 minutes. And then she like sat down and she's like, oh, I want to watch all of this. I'm like, great.
Perfect.
Great. So
give me 20 minutes and we'll start episode 1.
Well, then her mom is like, I keep hearing about this like Tiger King, this Tiger show. What is this? And so we just sat down the other night and watched the first episode with her mom. So
nice. Yeah, my mom did it too.
Yeah. It's weird. A lot of people are hating on it, which, you know, blocking out the haters.
What we needed, man.
Oh, dude. Well, it came out in like the perfect time because it was right at the beginning of this, but
so good.
So apparently he wants to run for president. He's trying to get Trump to bail him out of jail.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was true or not, but did he have COVID? I heard that he got put in quarantine for having coronavirus.
I didn't hear about that.
I
mean, I'm not saying it's not true, but I just
who knows
what
happens, and so hopefully everyone watching this has at least dabbled into a little bit.
I mean, I keep seeing things like share this if you're bold enough to say that you've never watched Tiger King, and
everyone's like,
it's
never.
like it's a little raunchy.
There's some stuff.
It's a little raunchy, and it's like has a lot of highs and lows and emotion, but it's kind of one of those things where you have to get past the first episode, and then you're kind of locked.
Yeah, you gotta. The first episode is introducing you to every character in the whole thing.
Not all of them. There's a couple
that are sprinkled, but like your main like Joe and Carol and everyone that works this. Okay, can I ask you some Tiger? I know like this is your podcast.
Let's do it.
But okay, favorite non-main character.
Favorite non-main character.
So not like Joe. Not Jeff. Obviously not Carol.
Who's the guy? I can't remember his name. The guy with the long hair. He just doesn't give a crap about anything.
He was like the head zookeeper or whatever.
Yeah. He's pretty funny.
I don't remember his name.
I like the guy without the legs.
Yeah, Rinky he's my favorite.
He's funny. Like, it's crazy. I think one thing about Tiger King that is so interesting is that, and a lot of reality shows do this too, where like whenever we're seeing one part, they're like talking about the characters that they're interviewing are talking about their emotions during that part, and just to see like the fluctuation of like, we support Joe, we don't support Joe. You know, like all the back and forth.
Yeah. That was wild. What a wild ride.
I know.
And I just watched it on TV, let alone like the people that
were
there.
I think one of the craziest moments in that was whenever the woman, man, or whatever they want to identify as, because I don't discriminate.
Saf? Yeah,
Saf got their arm ripped off.
Yeah.
And he walks in, he's like, I just want to say before you hear it from anybody that we had an incident here today, and I would have loved to be at the zoo that day.
I know, just in there. Guys, listen, we had an incident today. Before you hear from anyone else, we just had an employee get her arm ripped off in the cage.
Tiger King, it's a story of love. It's a story of murder, maybe, allegedly.
So, arm ripping offing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Did you watch Ozark?
No, but that's probably next
Ozark
on our list.
It's kind of raunchy too.
Yeah.
But I'm not endorsing it by any means, but that was a good show that I watched.
That's probably next.
It's got 3 seasons. Of course, I watched like How I Met Your Mother and like a lot of those shows. So So nice. Okay, I have a couple questions.
Yes.
What do you think like one of the most influential music groups of like that will stick with you until the end? What do you think one of the most?
Okay. Doesn't have to be worship related. We're talking about any musical group. Okay. Boy, stick with me to the end. I'm just such a huge Paramore fan. Dude. When Riot came out,
oh my gosh,
there are 3 albums that absolutely changed my life musically, and they all came out between 2002 and 2005. Paramore's Riot, The Black Parade, My Chemical Romance, and then From Under a Cork Tree from Fall Out Boy.
Oh yes,
those 3 albums.
That was such
changed my life.
Like I wasn't even a musician at that time, but those 3 albums are like extremely influential to me as well. I think those like, cause we both listen to like screamo and all that kind of stuff, but like that pop punk genre,
dude, All Time Low, like Forever
I would
Sickest
say
Kids.
For me, the most influential music group of all time is Relient K.
Oh, so
my
good.
favorite album of all time is the album, and they did a 10-year anniversary of that. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and I was supposed to go to the show with my friend Josh. He bought us both tickets, and I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And my brother had lived with his dad at the time. And he said, well, I'm going to be in town that weekend. Like, can we go to Kings Island or whatever? So I texted Josh. I was like, hey, my brother's in town, and he wants to hang out. Go ahead and sell my ticket.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. And then that day, I texted Logan, my brother, and I said, hey, what time do you want to go to Kings Island? He said, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go with my friends. So I sold the tickets to my favorite bands, my favorite album.
Yeah.
And
I just got to experience. I remember being in 7th grade, way back when, being at a mall in North Carolina, going into Hot Topic and buying Devil Wears Prada's with Roots Above, Branches Below album.
Dang.
And then I just saw the 10-year.
Dang.
They played it in the full entirety at Bogart's. Me and my wife went, and dude. But yeah, I think I will always love Paramore. Something about them will always just...
It's crazy how a lot of those bands that we used to listen to, I mean, Fall Out Boy, Bring Me the Horizon, dude. Paramore, like how all those bands were what they are then and what they are now.
Absolutely.
Like even Under Oath. I mean, I would say they still have a lot of their roots from before, but those are albums that back in the day, more specifically Under Oath.
Dude, Define the Great Line.
Those albums, amazing. You wouldn't hear those on the radio.
No.
But now, because of how their sound has shifted, you will hear those albums on the radio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. That, man, good stuff.
All right, well, we're about out of time, but I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
there's three branches to this question.
Okay.
If your memory was wiped of any album, and you would want your memory wiped so you can enjoy these things again for the first time, I want the movie, the TV show, and the album.
Okay, so I've never seen. So this is the first time I'm experiencing.
Yeah, so your memory's wiped so that you can experience it again for the first time.
All right. TV show. We'll do TV show first.
Okay.
Okay. This is good. This is a damn good question.
This is a thinker. This is a thinker.
Okay. Got it. All right. I'm sick and twisty as it gets. Me and my wife go get on Halloween. Around Halloween time, we go get like Halloween themed tattoos. Like I have the It balloon. I have like Friday the 13th. I have Jason's mask.
Yeah, I forgot that you're a horror guy.
I'm a horror guy. So I've always been super like, I just love like all that like sick and twisty stuff. But we're gonna go dark, but TV shows, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I would love
that show. I'm not a horror guy, but that show like will make you think.
I would absolutely love to like be like, what is this? Like find it on Netflix one day and just be like, because like, I mean, it had so many elements of just like, I mean, it was like a kid's cartoon.
It was creepy.
Dark.
Yeah. And that was like one of those like cartoons that came on Cartoon Network late at night.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the shows that are like, it's a kid show, but like the target audience is pretty obviously like teenagers and adults.
Yeah. So Courage the Cowardly Dog. I would love to experience that TV show for the first time now. That'd be awesome.
All right, movie and album.
My favorite movie on the planet is The Goonies. Okay. So I was not born when it came out, but I don't really remember the first time I ever seen it, but I would love to experience that for the first time in like a movie theater. I think that would be incredible.
Or it doesn't have to be an album; it can be like a band that you would like to rehear.
Okay, this one's tough because this is like it also is like, all right. So what's your favorite band? Or album or song or something?
And it doesn't have to be your favorite; just one that you would like to go re-listen to again.
I would love to re-listen. Okay. I'm not sure if it was their first album or not, but it was their self-titled of the 1975 with like Chocolate and Girls and all that on it. I remember, and it didn't come out like crazy, like 2013, 2012, so it's not super long ago, but when I listened to 1975 for the first time, I was like, I've never heard anything like this, and this is phenomenal. And I mean, it was on, I bought the CD.
You get along with my brother, he's a huge 1975 fan.
Dude, so when I listened to that for the first time, and I don't even think I listened to it until a couple years after it was out, but I got the CD, popped it in my car, I heard like the one song, I was like, oh, these guys are cool, I'll check them out. I was just blown away. I was like, I have never, like, this is like this, that's when like they were like, I think the 80s music is making its way back into like our world now, like
the band Camino, dude.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you hear like all those 80s like synth pop influences coming back, and I think like they were a big front runner in that because like super chorused out guitar sounds.
Oh, dude, yes, absolutely.
So the 1975 self-titled album, The Goonies and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay, I'm gonna say mine and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
So movies, I would say like a blanket on like the Star Wars saga, because I mean, if you took one out, you could still kind of piece things together.
Right.
So I would say Star Wars as a whole. Like, I would love to just, like, see it for the first time. Bands, I would say Reliant K. Specifically, probably the album, because that was, like, what... Because that's what really influenced me. And then TV show, I have to go with The Office.
The Office. Okay, you ready for this?
You've never seen it?
Nope.
Bro, come on.
I never have, no.
It's another one of those things where you have to get through for a couple episodes. You have to like, because I swore by not watching The Office, like when it was on, and then it was when I was in Georgia was the first time. So that was 2015, the first time I watched The Office, and without exaggerating, I've probably watched The Office all the way through like 25 times. Because when I was a store manager at AT&T, I would just...
I remember you saying that.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day, it would just loop.
Yeah.
So, but, all right, well, this was a good first podcast.
Dude, thanks so much for having me. Like, I love you. You're a great friend. And this is...
Love you too, man.
It That's cool.
This is fun. All right.
Listen to our album.
And yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you guys for watching. There were some tech issues, and it was episode 1, and it may have been a little rough, but I am excited that I was able to put this into reality, and there will be definitely more in the future. So stay tuned for episode 2. But thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next one.